All right, I'm going to give you my keys to the victory here and let you guys respond to that now. Okay. So I'll start with number one. And this to me, usually I would go to my offensive line first, but I'm not. I'm actually going to go to the defensive line first to my first key to victory. And I really feel that this might be the most important aspect of this football game, and here's why. I, for the life of me, Corey, cannot, or nor do I want to believe that Denzel Burke is going to have a repeat performance of what happened in Eugene,
We
Oregon, the
hope
first
not.
time. He never had a game that bad before that, and he hasn't had a game that bad since that. That tells me that that was a blimp on the radar. I just cannot believe that's going to happen again. That being said, our defensive line can prevent that from even being an issue if they get home. Number one key to victory, the defensive line has got to get pressure on Dylan Gabriel. Agree or disagree?
That's always a must. It doesn't even matter what the game is. It could be against Western Michigan. You have to get home and get pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel can beat you with his feet a little bit, and he can take the sail out of your balloon. I wonder if they're going to play a little bit of containment here and there, but I'd say it starts actually with the defensive tackles being able to get push up the middle and force them into our ends. I mean, because I do think they're going to have our ends play a little bit of containment based on Gabriel's ability to scramble. But that being said, I think it'd be interesting because last time we didn't have any disguised blitzes or delayed blitzes or things like that. I mean, we blitzed allegedly we blitzed a little bit, but I didn't. It was very basic and vanilla. We've been doing a lot more different with stunts and schemes. We didn't do much stunting back then, so that'll be interesting to see if how they manufacture the pressure. But yeah, of course, you, I mean that's the reason why they draft elite pass rushers in the NFL for the top 5 picks because it's so freaking valuable to have somebody who can disrupt an entire offense by getting to the quarterback.
Well, and if you can create that pressure with four down linemen,
Oh
it
yeah, it
it
frees up
frees
so
up.
many things. Yeah,
Yeah. And the thing that I want to stress is, and we did this a little bit against Tennessee, and I think it worked pretty good, and it might even work better against Oregon, and that is bringing a safety and or a linebacker, and then dropping a lineman into zone coverage. So we saw that a lot. It was basically they would bring in one of the corners, or excuse me, one of the safeties and or the linebacker, and you would see JTT drop back into coverage, and he was basically spying the quarterback. Now, the quarterback, he got some yards, but he didn't kill us, number one, and number two, we literally cracked his helmet twice. So, advantage Ohio State on that, I would say. So,
Tennessee fans actually think he trucked the linebacker in that instance. Not
too much
joking. I see it
moon,
all.
too much moonshine there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was a massive hit. So that's going to be important. Chris, your thoughts on getting a pass rush in this game being the most important thing defensively we can do?
Well, yeah, and Corey mentioned getting home. Getting home is great, but you've got to make Papa Smurf feel uncomfortable. That's the big thing. You make Papa Smurf feel uncomfortable, Papa Smurf makes mistakes. He,
He will turn it over.
he will turn the ball over. He is, I always say confidence is a good thing, especially in a quarterback. He's arrogant at times in what he thinks he can do, and he will make a mistake. So get pressure on him, make him feel uncomfortable. If you can get home, get the sack, that's great. But more than anything, just take him out of what he wants to do. Because if you let him sit back there for, you know, 5 to 8 seconds, he's going to pick you apart. He does have the ability to do it. But let me tell you, he's, I still say, and people get mad at me when I say it, I still think he's the most overrated player in all of college football.
He's had more starts than anybody, hasn't he?
Well,
He's
yeah,
been
I
out.
don't
He's
just
been
call him
playing
Papa
for.
Smurf because he's short. He's also 76 years old.
Yeah, he's been playing since the Obama administration. So,
Oh shoot, you guys. Chuck McFarland, has Ryan Day ever ran a design trick play? He- The answer to that question is yes and no. The fake punt against Michigan a couple years ago that would have worked, that didn't, the snap didn't go to the right guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You did against Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game with a fake punt that actually worked,
yeah,
and he did the fake kick off to Maryland.
we also did the kickoff to Maryland where
Yeah.
but which was pointless at the time because we were already
No, but
already winning big.
he hated. I think there was rumors around them and Chase Young at the time, and so
Yeah.
he was like, let's put it on him. So,
Yeah. All right. So number one was the defensive line. Number two, we have to get, and this is, the obvious answer is offensive line here, but I'm going to go one step further. We have to get a push from the offensive line in the running game. Interesting note: since the Oregon game, Quinshon Judkins' yards per carry have basically been cut in half this second half of the season. My theory is because our guards have been injured, and then with Seth McLaughlin's injury, it really screwed up the middle of the offensive line in the running game. We need to find a way to get Judkins better yards, more productive yards. First time we played Oregon, I think he ran the ball 10 times and only had 20 yards. 20 some yards, like not a good day. Okay. Now Travion had a decent day. I think he had like 11 carries, 80 some yards and touchdown or something like that. But Quinshon did not have a good game against Oregon. We've got to get Quinshon going. And so the offensive line getting a push. Quinshon is best when he can hit a hole and then create chaos in the second level. That is where he absolutely excels. So he's not as creative as Travion. Like, I mean, look at that second touchdown run Travion Henderson had. Literally stonewalled, bounced it back
out. Yep.
to the outside, and then ran by everybody, right? That's not Quinshon. Quinshon needs a hole, okay? So my second key to victory is the offensive line creating running lanes for Quinshon Judkins. Cory.
Well, we have to first address what is the real. You talked about the guards being an issue. What is the issue? Like, I remember when we in 2020 we had Master Teague and Trey Sermon, and Sermon just could not get a rhythm with the offensive line for the longest time. And it seems like it's gone in reverse for Quinshon. Like the rhythm was there, now it's not. And I don't know. It seems like he doesn't seem confident in making his decisions quicker with the new lineup. Maybe that's something to do with it because I've seen like a great example against Tennessee was when James Pierce got him from behind. It just seems like he's taken a while to make the cut, and he's more of a rhythm patience runner than Trevion's just just shooting out of the box trying to do what he can do. And it's ironic because Trevion used to be the dancer, and so why is Travion having more success than Quinshon with basically the same offense line? What kind of run plays are they calling for Quinshon? I think they like to get Quinshon. They believe he can get more of the ugly yardage than Travion does. He's more of a tough runner. Yeah. And I agree we have to get a push. It's the second we have to run the ball. That's a fact. And but not the kind of run game where Ryan Day comes in and just forces something that's not working because he needs to get the run game going. We need to you want to test the edges, test the middle, test whatever, and find out what works and what doesn't work. I would love to see Quinshon get running again. I don't 100% know exactly why it's not working as well as it used to, but I've noticed it for weeks where it's like, Trevion's putting up better numbers and more limited opportunities. And I don't know that he's just better or Quint again calling a different blocking schemes for Trevion that works for him, and maybe something different would work for Quinshon. I'm not sure. But if we don't run the ball this game, at least supplement it to some degree. But honestly, I'd like to see get Quinshon in the passing game a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know what the answer to that is, to be honest. But it is a key. It's a strong key to run. If you can get pressure on their quarterback and then run the ball yourself and keep their offense off the field, it almost helps the defense anyway. So yeah, I agree. It's one of the most important things to do.
Yeah, I'm with you. You have to get. I think you have to get Quinshon going in this running game. I think we need to see. Well, obviously, we have to get the lanes open. What may help with that is some different blocking schemes and maybe more misdirection. Maybe doing more, some counters with him and things like that that might, pop something open. I don't know. Maybe have him and Travion in there at the same time.
That seemed to work last game.
That's going to take some of the pressure off, I think. They've got to decide who's actually carrying the ball. Who are we going to attack? Maybe slide a tight end in there and almost use him like a fullback to open the hole. There's a lot of options you can use here, but you've got to do something that gets him comfortable because he's too much of a weapon to just be sitting there not putting up any numbers.
Yeah. Um, One of the things that seems like we're doing in this offense, Corey, that the RPO and the pull it and run, and you almost caused a fumble on the goal line with that. Thankfully, somehow Quinshawn was able to reach around and grab the
Yeah,
ball
thank
rolling down
God.
the
That'd
back
have
of
been
his leg.
disastrous.
But I'm with you, Chris. Swing one of them tight ends back as a lead blocker and get him going downhill when he
Yes.
hits the line of scrimmage. Um, too much of this. Do I have the ball? Do I not have the ball? Where's the hole? Do I need to move? No, it's a run, and here's the hole. Here's the gap you're going to, and you're going to have a lead blocker. It's football 101. It's what you taught in Pee Wee football. I think that is kind of what we need to use him and utilize him in this game. And I think it will help the offensive line, Corey. Here's your assignment. Here's who you're
Mhm.
blocking in this particular run. Do we need to run that all the time? No. But when Quinshawn's in the game, I would run that a few times and see how it looked. Because if it looks good and he's busting off 5, 6 yard carries there, now he's getting in a rhythm, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. I think it was Rosbach said when he hits a hole when he gets to the second level, he trucks linebackers. He
Yes.
needs to get his momentum going. That's the kind of runner he is. He's tough to bring down, but he's easier to bring down when he hasn't built up that momentum yet behind the line of scrimmage, right? So that's my second one. Um, Anything else with that before I give you my third key to victory?
No, go ahead.
Mhm.
Number three, Will Howard needs to tuck it and run when it's available.
Yes, 100%.
Um, I like Will Howard, and there's I don't want to see Will Howard get hurt because I have zero confidence that we have prepared or prepped a backup quarterback to come in a situation like this to give us any advantage whatsoever in a game like this, okay? And I know Ryan Day's thinking is if I run the quarterback, then there's the chance of him getting hurt. And if he gets hurt, then we're in trouble. And I agree with you, Ryan. We're in trouble. But again, it's because you don't put quarterbacks in the games early enough and run the offenses to get them ready. But I digress. But you can't be scared to run the football. Now that doesn't mean Ryan needs to be calling 15 QB keeps here. What it means is option one's not open, option two's not open. I'm not sticking around and getting sacked. There's a hole, there's a lane, take it. Go. I would rather see 4 or 5 yards from the quarterback than a sack or an incomplete pass or an interception. Okay, so I'm of the school of thought in this game. This is a quick read. Make it 1, 2 at the most. Get out of there. Your
Yep.
offensive line probably not going to be able to let you sit in the pocket all day long and with a clean pocket and let you pick apart the defense all day long. Corey.
You know, it's the great thing that Urban did with Cardale, and basically became or it's Tom Herman, whatever, 1 to 2 read guy, and if it's not there, take off. Do whatever you got. I mean, I agree. I mean, look, we got the receivers that it's like they criticize Justin Fields all the time because he would throw it his first read and Ryan Day responded. His first read's usually open. Um, Look, if his first read's Jeremiah Smith's probably going to be open. If his first read's Emeka Ibuka, probably going to be open. They like to also scheme those reads, obviously in bootlegs and things like that, counters, RPO, whatever. But if it's not open, absolutely do not force it. Don't take a loss. Just take off. Even if it's 2 yards, fine. Get a positive out of it. Agreed. Keep ahead of the sticks as much as you can. Don't fall behind the sticks because of because Josh Fryer, who's injured, gets beat, by Burke or whoever the heck's against him, that other guy who his dad is obnoxious, whatever. But just, I agree 100%. Just get positive yards. Don't take losses that put us behind the sticks on important key drives.
Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Will Howard is a big physical kid, and he has the ability to run. We've seen it in the past. So you treat this almost, and I know a lot of times we're playing out of the shotgun, we're playing that pistol type formation, but you almost treat it like a three-step drop. That's about what timing you give it.
Yep.
You hit that first read, that's not there. If you have time, glance at the second read, and you go.
Yep.
You don't stick around to try to. I mean, I know that I believe he could go through the progressions
I don't know that he
if he
can.
if he was standing behind a solid offensive line. I think he could work through his possession or progressions. This
Yeah.
line's not going to allow for that.
No.
Mm.
I
So one
I don't
max
think
two
so.
progression run,
Yeah.
and like Cory said, get positive. You know?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you guys remember what we were on third down this last time?
I think it was not good.
No, it was like wasn't it like 3 or 4 or 9 or something like that?
4 of
5-9,
12.
4 of 12.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but 3 of
33%.
those were in the junk time. 3 or 4 of those were junk time.
4 of 12 on third down. And we still scored 31 points. So third down is my next key here. And this goes both ways. This is third down offense and defense. You have to complete your third downs on offense, and you have to get off the field on third down on defense. In other words, you must win third down in this game. The way Oregon plays in these games is they play to win third down, and they did against Ohio State the first time. If we can win third down this time, I think we win this game by 2 scores.
Yeah, I love this comment because Donald and Carey here we got. I don't know that Oregon's worried because of how cocky they are. And my answer to that is, I remember a lot of Tennessee fans were awful cocky as well.
Let them be cocky. I hope they're cocky.
Cocky gives us the edge.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll address that in just a second. Because I've been talking with some Oregon people, but winning third down as my 4th key to victory. Cory, go.
It's always one of the key stats analytically, winning third down. Yeah, it's extremely important. We haven't been great on third down on offense. Defense, we're good. Offense, you know. And that's another thing, though. It goes back to your other points about getting positive yards with Will Howard just taking off. You don't want 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. You want 3rd and 3, 4, 2, whatever. You want to keep ahead of the sticks. That's so key in here and make those third downs manageable. That way, I honestly sometimes it might be in our benefit to keep it 3rd and 5 just because we wouldn't just try to pound it up the middle and not get it because that's a momentum killer. But that being said, you have to keep the third down as manageable as humanly possible, right? And that way you have a better chance of getting them, obviously, and we can keep drives alive. But on defense, yeah, get off the field. It's just so simple as that. Whenever they third down opportunity comes about, get out the field. But everything leading up to that third down has to be in sync as well. Get them in 3rd and 10, get them 3rd and 11, get them 3rd and 8, get tackles for loss. Be disruptive on defense. But I'll tell you what's deflating is if you get them in those 3rd and 10 situations and they keep converting them. That's deflating. Don't go soft on defense and lay off the receivers. I'm a little concerned that Jim Knowles is going to have the instinct to lay off the receivers based on Denzel's last performance. And on 3rd and 10, it's an easy pickup. So again, stay aggressive. Don't be afraid to be aggressive, and make sure when we are aggressive, convert those third downs and keep them and then get off the field.
Yeah, third down is obviously key, and really, you look at this. The offense converting third downs is huge. And Cory, I think you talked about the defense converting, and that's big as well. But the offense converting to me is a little bit more important because that keeps drives going,
I agree.
keeps the defense off the field, keeps them from getting gassed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're converting third downs, we're doing our rotation like we did versus Tennessee. All of a sudden, you got a fresh Jack Sawyer, Tyreek Williams, uh, uh, Vincent,
Ty
and
Hamilton,
or Ty Hamilton and
JTT.
JTT fresh and late in the fourth quarter against an offensive line that's kind of beat up, it's worn down from playing the. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's
That's how you win fourth
that's
quarters.
how you win fourth quarters, and I think that's what this comes down to.
Yeah. What was the comment you wanted me to address? Oh yes, this. Here we go. I do not know that Oregon is worried. They are too cocky to be worried, and that works in our favor. So, a lot of Oregon people who I talk to believe a lot like Frosty here. Oregon players are PO'd, not cocky. They are also healthy and confident. Oregon fans just want the facts out there since they've been ignored and dismissed all year. I don't know how ignored and dismissed you are when you're the number one team. So,
You know what? The Kirby Smart used
but
to convince Georgia that was always the case. If Dan
yeah,
Lanning can, I mean, he's come from the Kirby Smart school. If he can convince them that they've been that way, they're a
yeah.
dangerous team.
Um, so, but Oregon fans that I've talked to are a little bit upset about this game. They feel that Penn State has the easiest route
And they're right.
to
Without a doubt.
then, and they're like, we get the number one seed, we're the only undefeated team, and we get Ohio State as the Rose Bowl opponent here. Like they would much rather be playing Penn State than us in this
Of
game.
course, I would too.
And so that's what I'm getting. So I don't think that they're necessarily like cocky. I think what they're like a lot of people that just kind of perturbed that these first rankings came out the way they did, and they have to play us for getting there. Ryan Day's beard has gifted one OHIO podcast membership, and that membership has gone to
Cheryl.
Cheryl. I can't think of a better person to be gifted a podcast membership than to Cheryl. Welcome to the Pod Squad official membership. Thank you, Ryan Daysbeard. That was very, very nice of you to do that. Welcome aboard, Cheryl. All right, last key number 5. And this key is going to be an interesting one, but I thought I could go with the turnovers. Will doesn't make a turnover, blah, 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 blah. But it's this. You can't let the last game get in your head. Here's what I mean by that. If we are going on a game-winning drive at the end of the game again, you can't allow what happened in the first game to sneak into your psyche. Okay? I don't know that would happen. I don't know no one knows that, but I just want to I've played these games before myself where you play a team again and it's almost kind of like a here we go again moment, right? I think that's happened a lot for Ryan Day mentally against the team up north, you know? And I just want to, not to beat a dead horse. Ryan Day's 0-2 against Oregon. If he goes 0-3, you have another team up north. You have another team up north scenario here where
in your conference,
yeah, you can't get past the hurdle again and again and again. And the first 2 times you played them, you lost by 7 at home in 2021 against a team that had no business beating you. And then here you are, you go to Eugene, you lose by 1. And again, in a game where it's like, and I don't want to say we were going to kick the game-winning field goal because, gosh, who knows?
I was going to
Corey?
say, all you got to think about is the fact that if you start thinking about the last game, just know you wouldn't have won anyhow because our field goal kicker's lucky to hit an extra point.
But you see my point is you can't allow your psyche to get there. And Richard, I think you're wording what I'm trying to say better. Clock management is going to be something I'm concerned about it. He says it will not be an issue. It could be at the end of this game.
I don't think it will be.
I hope not. But the 5th one is basically Ryan Day needs to get out of his own head, essentially, is what I'm saying. And the players don't need to allow Ryan Day's whatever's going in Ryan Day's head to get in their head in this game. Go play your game. If they play like they did against Tennessee and as mad and as angry as they did against Tennessee, I think we're going to be fine, Corey.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a good point because right now, from game to game or big game to big game, we should say we don't know what Ryan Day we're getting. And usually we're used to saying that about like quarterbacks or whatever star players. Like we don't know what star player we're getting because they're inconsistent. Ryan Day is an inconsistent coach right now. Very good coach, no question, but inconsistent, and that's his biggest problem again. These big games like this, and whatever the team up north's record is, that's a big game no matter what. So yeah, I have faith he won't be in his own head this game. I really do feel strongly he won't be. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I've been proven wrong many times before, but I feel like he'll coach this game like he wants to win, and not coach scared or not coach complacent or not. Really, his big problem sometimes is like in the game with the team up north, he falls apart when things don't go according to script. Um, I don't think that's going to happen this time around. I think he's not gonna. It's not going to be a game where he doesn't have answers for certain things or whatnot. I feel like he's going to. They're going. The coaching staff's going to be on point and coach a good game. It doesn't mean we're going to win necessarily. I just don't think we'll lose because if we lose, I don't think it'll be because Ryan Day just screwed up royally and did something stupid. I think it might just be an execution thing at times. Something. But that being said, I think if Ryan Day's out of his own head, we can eat. I think this is a game we can win by a couple scores. And I'm not saying that because Oregon's bad. They're a very, very good football team. I have no doubt about that. I'm not trying to dismiss them. I just think if Ohio State is on a tear right now, and we'll see if the Tennessee game bleeds over into this one. If they're on the tear that they could be, like they were in 2014, and I think Oregon's going to be, I think that we're because I Penn State nearly beat them. I think we can beat them. So.
I've been very calm and very positive today,
Oh,
Eric.
am I about to make you get
And
mad and
then
angry?
then then you go and bring up the topic of Ryan Day.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
I'm just going to say this. I truly believe that the key to Ryan Day is one, keeping the play sheet out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
You keep the play sheet out of his hand, you let Chip handle that. Then Ryan Day can focus on clock management, on what's going on in the fourth quarter. Um, the idea that he loses a third one to Oregon, the idea that he could have another stumbling block like this, you want to see the lunatic fringe get crazy, you go right ahead and just let that happen. Because I'll tell you what, you thought it was bad after that game with that team up north. Go absolutely just crazy if he drops another one to Oregon, and now you got two of these guys in your own conference now. So for me, I think Ryan Day is going to be just fine. I really do. I think that this game he's going to be fine. And based on what we saw versus Tennessee, I don't think it's going to be as easy as Tennessee. I really don't. But I do think that we saw Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, and Jim Knowles all finally, for the first time, doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing job wise. And if they can just build off of that, then I think everything's going to be fine. And honestly, I believe that Ohio State wins this by double digits. If they don't, if they start, if Ryan Day starts losing it, if he tries calling the plays, then you know what? I go back to my original stance that he's just not the big game guy we need.